feeling like your sex life is stuck in neutral or even park? You're not alone. And today I'm going to talk about why this happens, how common it is, and how you can begin to boost your libido to have the sex life you desire and deserve. Hey babe, I'm Dr. Catalina, the Intimacy Doc, and I'm a psychologist who integrates all that we know from research, neuroscience, my clinical and personal experiences to help you have the sex and intimacy you desire and deserve. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. I drop videos every Tuesdays and join the conversation. All right, so let's get into it. First off, everyone at some point or another will go into periods where they're just not as much in the mood. It's really important to keep in mind that desire can be either spontaneous or responsive. And spontaneous desire is when we're just, I'm in the mood for sex, bam. Our body just reacts, we can build arousal, we know what stimulates us and we get stimulated and we get more in the mood. But with responsive desire, it's important for our body to begin to, one, just be open. I always think of it as a cycle. To be open, our body needs to think, there's a reason for having sex. It needs to be open to exploring what stimulates them. And then once our body is exploring and feels stimulated either physically, emotionally, intellectually, then that starts to build arousal. And with that arousal comes, and pleasure comes, our body experiences things like orgasms. It releases all of these hormones and neurotransmitters. And through that begins to reinforce so that our body is more in the mood. So if you are concerned that you don't have a high libido, then this is for you and you have more of a responsive desire. All right, so no, it's very common. The main reasons that people have lower desire are stress, fatigue, and health concerns, whether that be hormonal changes in midlife, weight concerns, sleep concerns. All of those things are going to impact your sexual desires. And so that's why it's actually more common than people like to admit. So if you are having low desire, one, again, cut yourself some slack. And thanks for coming here to begin to explore actually how you can begin to boost that libido. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about some of the physical reasons and solutions that may be impacting your desire. First and foremost is really appreciating if you have any chronic illnesses or diabetes, cardiac disease, cancer, any long-term chronic illnesses, oftentimes impact desire, mostly because those illnesses are taking capacity for your body, impacting your energy levels, likely impacting your mood, and impacting your day-to-day. When your body is constantly in just survival mode and just trying to get through the day, it doesn't have the capacity to feel into wanting something else. And that's where you, whether consciously or unconsciously, may begin to think, sex is just one other thing. Okay, and so that doesn't help desire. Always making sure that, one, if you have a chronic illness, my specialty was in working with sex after cancer, is find specialists who are aware of how your illness impacts your sexual satisfaction and your sexual well-being. And what are strategies to address that? Big things that also affect physical functioning are poor sleep and poor diet and exercise. Again, all of this is going to affect your energy levels. And when your body doesn't have the capacity and the energy, again, that desire, it's just gonna be something else. So really beginning some of the solutions when we're looking at some of those physical things are, one, addressing the symptoms themselves that are impacting, particularly if the number one rule when it comes to sex and any physicality is sex should not be painful. Let me repeat that. Sex should never be painful, all right? Absolutely, it should be pleasurable. So if your body's experiencing pain, then you gotta stop. You've gotta stop what you're doing and then slow things down, explore other ways where your body feels more comfortable. Because pain is your body's signal of saying, this isn't working for me. And with pain, the more you actually continue, particularly with penetrative intercourse, continue to inflict that pain, that trauma is re-experienced and then accumulates. And that oftentimes not only worsens the pain, but it leads to aversions, which again is going to affect your desire. So address the physical symptoms as you can. Look for alternatives as well. Have sex when you have more energy, and really begin to look at alternatives, and knowing that penetrative sex is not the only way to have sex. That is not the only sexual activity. So really beginning to expand your repertoire. Let's talk about psychological factors. And here, certainly, we know that if you're experiencing psychological distress, depression, or anxiety, that oftentimes we see decreased libido, all right? And so know that that is really common. We know life is hard, and oftentimes most people aren't getting the support that they need, and we don't live in communities that are naturally giving it to us. So it's really, really important to address underlying psychological distress. And your sexual satisfaction, again, not just the physical well-being, but how you're feeling sexually and connected to your body and feeling connected to others. Knowing that in finding your own connection and connecting with your body, we know somatic exercises, I'm going to be talking more about them, those are ways that can actually also help you improve your mental health. So seeking therapy, knowing that there are ways and proven strategies to address your psychological well-being, psychotropics, certainly focusing on your lifestyle, factors that are exacerbating your distress, and seeking that support. Okay, but always addressing those psychological concerns and knowing that when those concerns are present in a relationship, that the relationship needs to nurture those, okay? And if you don't know how to nurture those, if your partner is feeling distressed, again, seek help. Seek help for yourself, not just couples therapy, but seek help for you as a caregiver. And let's talk about relationship issues that are impacting desire. The reality is that if there are relationship tensions, sex is the first thing to go, unfortunately. And that anger and resentment that you have for your partner, your body is projecting out, so it's pushing them away while also feeling guarded. So even if you are engaging in any physical intimacy, your body likely has a hard time really receiving it. And so it just becomes this act, which again, then thinking back about what I talked about with sexual desire, it makes it really hard to actually get more in the mood and boost that desire. So certainly when there are relationship tensions impacting your desire, those underlying concerns need to be addressed. And again, relationships need constant nurturing. You are changing. Your needs, wants, and desires, both physically, emotionally, intellectually, likely have changed. And in long-term relationships, it's really important to allow for that adaptation and that evolution and to support it, okay? So know that couples therapy, individual therapy, there is lots of different support out there. If you're looking for support, you always want to make sure you have a connection with that person. And there's a lot of people in this relationship space, particularly when we're talking about sex. So as somebody who's a PhD psychologist, I'm always gonna recommend that you really look at how this person has been trained, what really is their experience, to really help support you, because certainly some damage can be done, and I don't want that to happen to you. So addressing those underlying relationship concerns. Now, a lot of my work integrates somatic exercises, which basically are looking at how we can be more mindful about and aware of our connection to our body, the sensations that we experience, and how our body actually feels and experiences these sensations. And so when we're talking about mindfulness, what that's trying to do is heighten your awareness of your 5 senses and then begin what we call interoception, your perception of what's happening inside your body, your experience of heaviness, light, juiciness, all of those emotions. Emotions are physiological reactions to events in the past that your body has learned and has now a memory of. And so when we experience ecstasy or euphoria, our body begins to actually encode that. Then you can begin to actually invite that in more. But somatic exercises, things like sensate focus, is a behavioral exercise where you're really focusing on witnessing your partner and learning really what it is to both give and receive that touch and what it feels like. okay? Really focusing on the sensations, not just what you're doing. So much about sex ed out here, and lots of videos are talking about how to give the best oral sex or how to please your partner. All of that is irrelevant if you are not really fully connected to your body. Your body really needs to be relaxed and in that surrender mode so that you can appreciate all of your five senses and really experience that's not just eroticism, but the experience of physical, emotional intimacy. So there's lots of behavioral strategies there, mindfulness. A lot of what I do is integrate Neo-Tantra, which really is about integrating both breathing exercises as well as heightening your awareness and meditative practices to really foster that connection. There are lots of somatic approaches, and again, I will make more videos about that. And then the last thing I just want to add about with medical is when it comes to our physical health is that there are lots of medical interventions, particularly for women who are midlife, perimenopausal, or menopausal. We know that the hormone replacement therapy doesn't just immediately improve your libido. What it does is it stabilizes, not your hot flashes, it manages a lot of the symptoms, your mood, weight gain, brain fog, all of those things that are attributed to hormonal imbalances. And when those are more stable, your body has more capacity to then again go back and actually explore what stimulates you, which then will improve desire, okay? So know that there are lots of medical interventions if you are experiencing low libido, particularly for women in perimenopause and menopause. You do, and I will absolutely make more videos about this in the future, but just because you have menopause does mean sex is gone. We are just in midlife, and as a 47-year-old, trust me, who is on hormone therapy, there are so many ways to continue to expand your sexuality. We're only halfway there. All right, guys, so these were all of the strategies. Let me know if you want me to go into more detail about certain ones or if you have any questions. Know that we are all so incredibly individual. There is no right amount of desire that anybody should have. And so if you want to experience more sexual desire, then know that there are strategies and support that can help you, all right? But if you're not in the mood, that's okay, it's natural. It's natural, and as long as you're not, it's not causing you or the relationship problems, then hey, there is no right amount of desire nor sexual activity. So you do you and continually nurture your own sexual desires. And again, that does not even have to include the physical acts of sex. All right, guys, thanks again for joining me. See you next Tuesday, and let me know below if you have any questions. Take it easy. Cheers.